Hello and welcome to another video. We've had a pretty decent dump of cards onto the Twitter yesterday, which has gave us enough material to do one of these card reveal videos. Honestly, they've been quite a nice batch of reveals. There a few nice cards in there with a few pretty generic ones, which I don't mind too much, but we're starting things off, of course, with a Feena reprint in some sense. I don't know whether to call it a rework, I guess. Either way, it's a 4-drop 3/3 gold fanfare, deal 1 damage to an enemy, evolve, destroy all enemy followers that cost 1 play point or less. It is our glorious Overlord Feena, except this time she's a Dynamite Daredevil, so I always like seeing these kind of different spins on the characters, while obviously just being pretty much a whole new card. Class being neutral, of course, as Feena always is, and that's still really nice artwork to use. I quite enjoy that one. And of course, we will also be having a pretty nice Cerberus, Hound of Hades. So Cerberus has had not one reprint, of course, with the direct reprint for the leader card, but now a second sort of reprint, I guess you could say, being a remake of the card, I guess. This one, of course, being allowed to be used in rotation, which is, of course, a lot better for the card, at least in this case. A 5-drop 3/3, so generic stat line for Cerberus, while it's got Fanfare, Summoner Mimi, Right Paw Hellhound, and Coco, Left Paw Hellhound. Evolve, give all other allied followers last word, deal 1 random damage to the enemy follower. So Mimi, Right Paw is a 1-drop 2/1, pretty simple stat line for that token. Last word, deal 2 damage to the enemy leader, and the other ones restore 2 to your leader. So we've got deal and heal, pretty similar to what the effects already were, except Coco last time was just give a follower extra 2 attacks, so this time going on a little bit more of a defensive with one of them. A 1/2 stat line I don't mind too much on this token actually, so that's pretty okay. Then we have Sleep Incantation, a 3-drop spell for Runecraft. Draw a card. At the random follower a random follower can't attack until the start of your next turn. Return that follower to the player's hand instead if you have 20 or less cards in your deck. So still continuing that 20 cards or less in your deck theme, which I honestly don't mind too much. It's a pretty interesting theme, but definitely not too bad there. Then we have Mechanization. It's a 0-drop silver portal spell. This one I'm actually really keen on. Giving Portal another 0-drop is going to be absolutely nuts. So choose. Put 2 copies of 2 of the following cards into your deck: Analyzing, Ancient, Mystic, and Radiant. So put 2 copies of 2 of the following cards into your deck. So I'm not sure how this choose effect's going to be structured. I'm guessing it's just going to pop up with 4 choices and you pick 2 of them and then you get the 2 copies in your deck. Otherwise, it might be kind of a weird combo effect, but then I guess they would have structured their sentence different. So I will go with what I said first, and I reckon this will be fairly decent as it gives you the option to put Radiance in your deck. You can side in whichever one you want with Ancients, Mystics, or Analyzing as well, and that's going to be really key in a lot of artifact based builds. So going to be a really nice card for 0, really no downward cost for this. Then we have Furious Mountain Deity, a 4-drop 3/4, so pretty good stat line forest card. Fanfare, Enhance 7, gain +2/+2 and Rush. Whenever this follower attacks, gain +1/+0. Whenever this follower attacks, gain +2 as the evo effect, so giving a little bit of a buff on its evo effect, but pretty generic overall. I don't know if this card will see much play unless Forest goes for a more control-y follower-based deck, but I mean, I might give it a go as a cheap Forest card, as it's definitely not bad, it's just kind of mediocre as a bronze card. Then we have Astral Deviation, a 3-drop bronze card for Runecraft. Randomly put 2 of the following cards into your hand: Venus, Pollux, Star Phoenix, Castor, Scorpius, or Andromeda. So similar to Stella, this card is going to give you one of those cards, which are all from different classes, so that's a lot of fun. And it also has Earthright, subtract 1 from the cost of those cards. Definitely a card I want to mess around with. If you guys have seen my Stella video that went up recently, that was one of my most popular videos originally, the original video for that one, and this kind of card really reminisces me with that, so definitely a card I'll want to test out and see if I can potentially build some interesting decks out of it. Then we have Jiraiya, a 9-drop 8/8 Swordcraft Officer. This thing is a nuts looking card, just because that artwork is some like Hive Alien Queen type thing, and that's really messed up, honestly. But I do love those sort of things and would love to see that potentially be a leader one day. Either way, it's an Accelerate 2, change enemy followers attack and defense to 1. Fanfare, change all enemy followers attack and defense to 1. So this card is pretty decent, honestly. I think if other big statted followers that can't be targeted become a problem or can't be easily destroyed, this card will give you a lot of options. As a 9-drop, it's a little heavy, definitely, because of course making sure everything goes to 1 might not be that big, but as far as the accelerate goes, it could be pretty nuts. The fact that this card is an officer means it can potentially combo really well with Dark General in Unlimited, and that would be something I would love to mess around with and get to go off, as an 8/8 Storm follower would be pretty nuts to just slam onto the board, especially with these effects, so definitely something I'd love to give a go of. Then we have High Seas Hero, a 3-drop 3/3 silver generic Swordcraft officer. Nothing too special about this card except that it has a little bit more than full Evo stats. It's actually got a +3/+3 Evo stat line, which is really decent. Again, an officer card being good to combo with certain cards will be really nice, especially with that Evo. So definitely above average card for a 3-drop. 3-drop 3/3s are actually super solid, so really glad we're getting a few more of them. Then we have Steadfast Angel, a 1-drop 1/1 neutral card. It does have Ward and Fanfare Enhance 4, gain +2/+2. A nice versatile cheap bronze card. Nice being able to just throw wards down for turn 1. Could be quite decent. Might limit some of the potential damage you could take against aggro decks. So definitely one I don't mind. Then we have Whispering Woods, a 2-drop bronze forest amulet. Count down 1 Fanfare, select enemy follower. It can't attack next turn. What else we got? Fanfare, enhance 4, add 2 to this amulet's countdown. At the end of your turn, put a random forest, and then it doesn't actually specify. I'm waiting to see exactly what this card will do. As soon as I know, I'll put it in the comments. It's pretty obvious it's going to be either a follower, spell, or amulet based on the ending text. Considering this is an amulet, I'm leaning towards the fact that it's probably going to be a follower. Of course, the spell is just as possible, but that's just my opinion on it. So at the end of your turn, put a random forest card. It could just be card, but I doubt it. Random forest craft follower, I reckon, will probably be where it will go. Spells, again, another possibility, and amulet. So you're only 3 archetypes for cards. So you've got 4 potential options, of which I think follower is the most likely. Then we have Sanctum Keepers, a 7-drop 4/5 bronze for Havencraft. Just pretty generic storm damage. Gives more options for a potential Stormhaven deck, which I like. Not particularly overpowered considering it's a 7-drop, but maybe comboing this with an Elena and dropping a healer immediately could work, but I think it's just a nice bit of burst damage. Then we have Netherworld Horseman, a 5-drop 3/5 bronze card for Shadow. It does have Rush, which is pretty decent, I guess. Fanfare and Necromancy 4. Deal 2 damage to the enemy leader, so just a potential deal damage, rush down follower, which is not bad at all for a bronze card. Then we have Swordserpent Guardian, a 4-drop 2/2 Bloodcraft card. Fanfare, summon 2 serpents. Fanfare enhance 8. Give Bane and Rush to all allied serpents. So we're actually getting some serpent support. This one is a shocker, honestly. I mean, serpents were pretty much neglected after Medusa was played out. There was really nothing else that came of them, and now we're actually getting some more serpent support. I believe there might be one other card that we've seen that was serpent support, but honestly I think this one at least is a fairly decent one, so gives you some more potential to get Medusa in and really play off those cards. Just, I think serpents really always lacked in Bloodcraft compared to bats, but it's nice to see they're not completely forgotten about. And we've got Silver Automation, a 7-drop 5/7 bronze ward for Puppetcraft. Last word, put 2 pups in your hand. I think this is going to really help the nerfs that Puppets had now. Puppet's going to have some nerfs that are not necessarily rough, but definitely slow down its consistency for the mid-game, and I think Silver Automation could be one of the cards that really gives you at least an extra turn, and getting 2 puppets over getting 1 puppet in Heartless Battle might actually be better. Of course, Heartless Battle is a little more versatile and has Bane, but I think Silver Automation isn't a bad option, even if you were looking at it as a more budget-orientated card. It could even potentially take a slot in the deck pretty well, so definitely one I wouldn't mind giving a try. Then we have Charon, Stygian, Ferrywoman. I'm sure I messed that up, but it's a 6-drop 5/5 gold Shadowcraft follower. So Fanfare, randomly put a Shadowcraft follower that costs 5 play points from your deck into your hand. Evolve effect, Necromancy 5, subtract 5 from the cost of a Shadowcraft card in your hand until the end of the turn. So this is obviously designed with, say, Cerberus in mind, being able to really take advantage of pulling it from the deck as a tutor, which is always good. and then dropping its cost by subtracting 5. It could also subtract any, because it does just say subtract 5 from the cost of a Shadowcraft card in your hand. Doesn't specify random, so most likely targeted, which could be nuts. Comboing this with some of the better cards could work really well, even just as an Evo. And of course, it could combo well with other potential 5-drop cards, so definitely a nice one overall. Then we have Orthrus Junior Hellbound, another one of those cards where we've already had an Orthrus, but we're getting a different version. So a 4-drop 4/3 Fanfare, Necromancy 3, deal 4 damage to an enemy follower. It's just a different kind of Orthrus, which I'm okay with. It's honestly pretty nice. I love the artwork, and being a silver drop isn't too bad for this at all. So that does wrap up this card reveal. That's basically all we've got so far. As soon as we have a reasonable amount more, I'm pretty sure we won't have too many more, but we should be close to the end with all the cards almost being revealed and the expansion only a few days away. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hit the like button and subscribe for more content, and I will catch you guys next time. See ya.